Welcome to Coastal Cooking with your host, Carmela Campbell. Coastal Cooking features delicious recipes and cooking tips from the Gulf Coast's finest chefs and restaurants. Watch as popular local chefs prepare their special dishes with natural gas. Coastal Cooking is brought to you by Pensacola Energy, provider of clean, efficient natural gas.
My guest today is Executive Chef and owner Blake Rushing from the Union Public House. Welcome and welcome back.
Happy to be here.
Because we always enjoy having you and your great dishes, and you've got 3 special ones for us today. Tell us what they are.
So we're going to start off with a peppercorn crusted drum with a red-eye gravy, some heirloom tomatoes, and some heirloom zephyr squash, and then we're going to show you how to do some Coppa, basically kind of a charcuterie dish, which is kind of cured meats. And then lastly, we're going to do our signature salad at Union Public House, which is a cornmeal crusted shrimp and oyster salad. A little buttermilk ranch, some corn relish, crispy onions, pickled peaches.
Sounds good.
It'll be good.
Sounds good. What's first?
Cool. So to start off, we're going to start our red-eye gravy.
Okay.
This is going to start with basically the main ingredients are coffee and ham or bacon. So it's funny, President Jackson was about to go into a battle, and he talked about how he wanted to get the red out of his soldiers' eyes. So he told the cook to make something to get the red out of their eyes.
From a night of inebriation.
Yep. And so he just basically added coffee to the old bacon grease and put the ham in there, and so kind of helped take the red out of their eyes.
So that's the history of red-eye gravy.
That's it.
I'll be.
It's really good, nice, bitter, fatty, salty. Goes great with fish. So what we're going to start with is a little bit of butter. Just get that in there. Just get a little fat to start it out. We do a little bit more of a variation with a couple other ingredients in there. This is our house cured bacon. We smoke it after it's been cured for about 2 weeks or so. So that starts it out. We're going to render that nice bacon down. We also have our house Coppa. We'll go over in the next part. And throw that in there for the ham aspect, nice and salty.
Okay.
Give that a little stir.
And red-eye gravy is a comfort dish, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
good
a great southern
dish.
sauce. I mean, it goes great on fried chicken, fish. It goes great on steak. It's got a great bitterness and fattiness to it. It's delicious.
It's good.
So after we got the bacon and Coppa kind of rendering down, caramelizing up, like that. Get that good fat in there. That's a big part of the sauce is the fattiness of it from the rendered bacon. We're going to add some chopped garlic. And then I've got some shallots as well. Does that a good texture to it? Kind of give it a bit of a sweetness to it. And I like to add a little tomato right at the end too. Gives it a little fresh flavor.
Okay.
Then we're going to, we don't need to season it much because you've already got bacon and Coppa in there, which are already salty. So just a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. And we're just going to let that cook down to where the shallots and garlic are kind of tender, slightly caramelized, and getting sweet. Okay. We've got our pan on here for the peppercorn crusted drum. This is a mixture of peppercorn, salt, and a touch of coriander seed. But it's mainly peppercorn, almost like steak au pois. I'm going to cover that side pretty generously.
You serve drum a lot?
Yeah, that's basically our main fish of the day. That's what we usually use for the fish. Comes from Louisiana. It's delicious, really nice, light, flaky fish. And we kind of massage it in there a little bit so you get a nice crust on there. We're going to drop a little oil into our pan. You want about medium to medium-high heat.
Okay.
Looks good.
When you're cooking with natural gas,
Ooh,
you don't have to wait very long, do you?
No, you don't. So we use the restaurant.
Yeah,
love
absolutely.
it. I heard I get a big discount for doing the show.
I don't know.
I'm just kidding. So now we got our shallots.
I don't make that decision.
Kind of tender. That's going to go for another couple minutes right there.
And
then we've got our drum going over here. That's the nice, you want to leave it on that side. It's about that thick of a fillet. So you want to leave it on that side for a good 1.5 to 2 minutes and then flip it for the remainder of the cooking. You want to just cook it just through so it's nice and flaky.
Okay.
Throw this over here. All right, and then next we're going to roll with our squash. That's just going to go over into a hot pan. Get that butter caramelizing. This is a Zephyr heirloom squash.
Okay.
Get it from Covey Rise. They stop by out of just north of New Orleans every week. And I like my squash just to be still have a little bit of a bite to it. I don't like vegetables cooked all the way through. They have kind of lose the freshness.
Yeah.
They all have such nice textures. All right, that's coming right along.
Oh,
Still need a little bit more. Shallots are starting to get a little translucent.
That's nice and thick because you haven't added the liquid yet.
Right, exactly. And it'll get more liquidy as the fat renders out of the bacon and the Coppa. All right, so we've got that. Drums rolling. We're just going to check the base of it real quick. It's going to get a little caramelized.
Oh, Blake, that looks wonderful. Now, this is one of the dishes, one of your staples on the menu, or is this a special?
This is kind of a special. We always have drum. We always have the red-eye gravy, but this is more of a special, just kind of cool stuff I got off the truck from Covey Rise.
Okay.
Got some of them gorgeous heirloom tomatoes, and then we're going to garnish it with a little bit of fried sage, which adds a nice little...
Fried sage?
Yeah, it's a little crunch, and it's got a nice aromatic to go along with, especially with the red-eye gravy and everything.
Okay.
It's tasty.
One thing I love about all of your dishes, they're unique ingredients that work wonderfully together. I mean, I would never think to put some of the food together that you do.
Thanks. Yeah,
and I always say that's why you're a chef and I'm not.
I was like...
Because it works.
Push the boundaries and have something on the dish that kind of throws people, didn't think that would go with whatever.
Well, it makes you curious and really want to try it, you know, when you read, because on your menu, Blake, you put a lot of the ingredients that are in the dish.
Oh yeah.
So people will know what to expect.
We got this beautiful brown butter going with the squash. It's foaming up. That milk solids in the butter are kind of caramelizing, so it's going to give it a nice nutty flavor.
Yeah. Looks so
also
good.
Hit that with just a touch of salt.
How long have you been open?
We've been open for, let's see, about 1 year and 9 months.
All right.
So it's been going great. Our second year's gotten even busier than the first, and I'm just loving it.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
you're so conveniently located. Right there on Main Street.
On Roost, right next to Baseball Park and City Hall.
Right across the street from City Hall.
Yep.
So it's a great spot downtown for sure.
Yeah, we love it. The baseball games we also love because every time everybody
bet you
parks around
do.
us and they
I bet you
come
love
before or
it.
come after.
Yes.
I'm going to turn this down just a touch. You can see you got a nice caramelization, good peppercorn cooked down. You can always tell the fish, it's still a little bit raw on the inside. We're going to
That's
keep it
going to
going.
be very flavorful, I can tell.
And with this as well, we're going to add a little bit of butter, let it brown up, and kind of caramelize and infuse into the peppercorn crust. Give it a little baste.
That butter will do it every time.
Been loving down there. Pensacola's giving us a good welcome for sure.
Yes, they have. Well, you have done a great job down there, and of course you got Patrick.
Oh yeah, Patrick's a partner in the business, and he's a extraordinary bartender. He just makes some of the coolest things, like things you were saying where I put weird stuff or stuff on dishes you wouldn't think. He makes cocktails, and I'm like, what? And it's one of the tastiest things ever.
So you tend the kitchen, and he tends the bar.
That's it.
That's a perfect partnership
Among about
there, isn't
another
it?
1,000 jobs. All right, so
As
we've
owner.
Yeah, of course. No, there's no job title.
Oh,
It's
let's
all of the above.
let's show our audience here how nice that has cooked up.
All right.
Beautiful.
So that's the red-eye gravy. We got everything cooked down. So what we're going to do is add our tomatoes. That's not traditional, but it does add a nice freshness. I just started doing this last week actually. Adding a little tomato.
Well, you know, it's the season to do that,
Oh
right?
yeah, for sure.
All these great fresh tomatoes we have.
So that's all cooked. Fat's rendering out. Tomatoes I don't really want to cook long, just have a little texture in there. This is a really nice, strong coffee. I just make it with the grounds and then filter it out, but you want to make it really strong because there's not much that goes in there. So we're going to pour that in here.
About how much was that?
That's about half cup or so.
Half a cup? Now look at this. This is really
And we got our drum coming along over here.
strange.
All right, so that feels good. There's like a pushback, so you can tell it's cooked all the way through. So we're gonna go ahead and turn that off.
Okay, you know what?
Red-eye's good.
This has got to cook a few more minutes.
Just a couple, yeah.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break right here.
Okay.
We'll have it ready when we get back.
Sounds good.
Heat pumps don't pump much heat. In fact, heat from an efficient natural gas heater can be 30% warmer, and you can get up to an $800 rebate when you install one. Warming up to natural gas yet? Learn more at PensacolaEnergy.com.
New home buyers prefer natural gas. Here's what local home builders have to say about natural gas homes.
Most people, ask for natural gas. They're looking for the hot water heater. They're looking for the cooking. They're looking for the convenience of the grill and never running out. And of course, the heat is much more comfortable on those cold winter days than electric heat.
Natural gas from Pensacola Energy, the clean, reliable, earth-friendly choice.
Cooking with natural gas is more controlled than using an electric range. But more importantly, they're less expensive to operate. Don't get burned with electric. Learn more at PensacolaEnergy.com.
Our red eye gravy is ready.
Yes, it is. So we're going to go ahead and start the plate. Got these beautiful heirloom tomatoes. Got from Covey Rise. They're gorgeous.
And taste so good.
Oh yeah. So we're going to do 2 nice slices of that onto the plate. I don't like to do anything with heirlooms except just serve them like they are. They're just gorgeous. They have such a wonderful flavor. I do like to put just a tiny bit of finishing salt on there. Then we have our sauteed heirloom zephyr squash here. And put that down right in the center.
I love watching you build a plate.
Thanks. I love doing it. All right. We've got our heirloom squash there. And then we've got our peppercorn crusted drum. It's got a nice crispy crust on there. And then it's just barely cooked through. That
And
way,
you basted it with a
super
lot
tender.
of butter, didn't you?
Yeah, throw the butter at the end. Those milk solids get going, and
Yes.
that peppercorn should just really come out really nicely. And then
Oh,
after that,
red eye
we're
gravy.
going to do our red eye gravy. It's just full of flavor. All that garlic and everything. It's a quick sauce too. So we'll just do that right on top. Right there.
Andrew Jackson would be proud.
Ready for battle.
I'm telling you.
All right, and so we'll just finish with a tiny bit of pepper and a tiny bit more of the finishing salt. And then I've got some crispy fried sage leaves here.
How did you do these? What did you?
The sage leaves, you just
fry them
drop
in
into a fryer
something?
about 325 or so.
Okay.
And then it adds a great crunch, nice little aromatic. And there we are.
That is a beautiful dish, Blake.
Thank you.
Our first dish from Union Public House, but we've got more.
Oh yeah.
And our next dish.
Next dish we're going to talk about, at Union we cure all of our own meats.
Yes.
So that's the art of charcuterie, which is basically
Charcuterie.
charcuterie.
Okay.
So we're basically, the cooking process is with salt and sugar. That actually cooks the meat just like a heat would cook the meat, or like lime juice would cook ceviche.
Okay.
So that's the cooking process. It does the same thing to the protein as heat does, just without actually cooking it. So you get to keep this beautiful bright red color. We do beef pancetta, we do Coppa, we do lonza, we have our own pastrami, bacon you already saw. It's just such a great flavor, and the way they develop over the month and a half that it's going, or more, it's just awesome. So what we're going to start with is our salt mixture. This is our curing mixture. So this is our part of the pork shoulder that is the Coppa side of it. It's on the right side of the shoulder, off the bone, and it's got that beautiful marbling in it. So this kind of light pink pork is going to turn into this beautiful bright red. So we're going to take our bowl. It's 2-to-1 ratio, salt and sugar. So there's our salt. There's our sugar. Of course, I forgot my mortar and pestle, but this will work out fine. But if you do, I would crush the spices up. But it's in the cure for so long, it's definitely going to infuse in there.
Okay.
We are going to use a touch of pink salt. This is a nitrate salt. It just kind of makes it to where there's no chance of it going bad or whatever. It's kind of your safety measure. And you only use about 3% by weight.
Where do you buy pink salt?
You can get it on Amazon. We get it from Gourmet Foods International.
Okay.
So you really want to mix that through, and you would never want to like season that with anything. It's just, you use such a small amount, and it just
But it's
helps.
important in doing this process.
It is. It helps it to where it won't go bad. And it also helps keep that beautiful color on it as well. So we have an array of spices here. These are things that are going to infuse into the meat and really come out with all those aromatics, like you'll taste them when we taste it here. We've got some coriander seed. We have some cumin, fresh green cardamom, and we've got some fennel seed, fresh clove, a little peppercorn, a little star anise, some red chili flake, and then some bay leaves.
Wow.
So those all come together really nicely.
And all very different spices, too.
Yeah, and they come together great, especially, I mean, it's very subtle after the curing process and everything, but it's definitely worth it. And you don't have to do all those. I mean, you could just do chili flake, peppercorn, and the salt and sugar. That's the main part. So then we've got our pork shoulder, just the Coppa cut of it, and we're just going to lightly cover that.
Okay.
And then kind of really work it in there, work it into any kind of pockets or whatever. This is the curing process is going to go on in the fridge for about 10 days for this size of a piece of meat, and you'll want to rotate it every 48 hours.
Okay.
So we'll basically put it in there like that, and then rotate it every 48, and the natural juice will come out of the pork and create a little bit of a brine.
Oh, okay.
And then after 10 days, it should have a little firmness to it. So once it's after 10 days in the fridge, we're going to basically take it out. It'll be a little firmer, and we'll basically wrap it in cheesecloth to protect it, tie it, and then hang it for right at a month to 5 weeks or so.
Wow.
Until it's
this
nice
is quite
and
a
firm.
process.
Yeah, and that's when it's going to develop all the flavor.
Okay.
And then finally, we'll have this
And
beautiful cut.
this is our finished product.
So you've got the beautiful marbling, nice red color. Try that. It's delicious.
Is it salty?
It's got a little saltiness to it, but since we
Oh,
cut the
that's
salt and
good.
sugar, and it's not in there long, because once you
That
take it
is
out of the
very
cure, you
tasty.
rinse it and then hang it, so it slowly kind of.
That is
air
very
dries.
good.
And that's the basic process for all meat. You can cure any meat like that.
That is delicious.
So
We want to talk about some of the items on your menu.
yeah.
Your Scotch eggs.
Yeah, the
How
first
many
year
have you all gone through?
the first year we sold just over 6,000.
6,000 Scotch eggs.
Yeah, and so that's we do, our version of it is to make it more southern, we do a soft poached egg. So it's a nice creamy yellow center. And then we make our house andouille, wrap it in the andouille, and then to put a little another southern twist on it, and it's also gluten-free, it just happens to be, we do pork cracklings ground up to be the size of panko, like breadcrumbs. So it's breaded in pork cracklings. And then we deep fry it, and it's just gorgeous, crunchy, meaty goodness.
And there's no Scotch in it, folks.
No Scotch, it's just from
it's
a Scottish,
Scotland.
yeah, Scottish dish.
Okay. I bet a lot of people think that.
I'm sure.
It's got Scotch somewhere in those.
You can get a shot of Scotch with it.
There you go. What are some other popular items?
I know the tuna tartare and the beef carpaccio are huge items. The brisket patty melt is a big seller. We do a wild boar sloppy joe.
Wild boar?
Wild boar sloppy
Joe.
We do a burger that's stuffed with red wine braised short rib, and then topped with fried kale, tomato, bacon, cheddar on a brioche bun. That's a big seller. We also do some of our main courses for dinner. We have our pork shank. That's the biggest seller on that. It's a big confit pork shank that we get crispy, and it's served with some smoked mashed potatoes. That's probably the one that
Very good.
we sell the most of for sure.
And you've got indoor and outdoor dining.
Oh yeah.
And
We've
you've
got a
got
big patio.
entertainment.
Yep, we've got a bocce ball court, horseshoes, a tetherball out there, which we were laughing about because we hadn't played that since high school. It's a fun spot.
It is. You can eat and enjoy during beautiful weather, outdoor
yeah.
dining, and
Friday
all
and
the other
Saturday definitely
entertainment
need
you got.
reservations. We were by Friday, Saturday afternoon we were slammed.
yes. Well, make sure you get reservations, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And our next dish is your most popular salad.
Sure is.
Okay, we'll be right back after this.
Natural gas dryers may cost a little more than electric ones, but they dry clothes quicker, making them cost half as much to run. So now who's getting taken to the cleaners? Learn more at PensacolaEnergy.com.
Natural gas homes are in demand. Here's what home builders have to say.
The natural gas cooking, as well as the fireplace and the atmosphere that you have on a really nice, well-designed lanai, You can entertain real well. It's very comfortable. People are real homey there. And we find the lanai to be a real design feature, along with having the natural gas to implement that.
Natural gas from Pensacola Energy, the clean, reliable, earth-friendly choice.
Tell us about our next dish.
All right, so we've got our UPH's signature salad. It's been on since the beginning, and it's by far the most popular. We have some cornmeal crusted fried oysters and Gulf shrimp. We basically do a real simple method on this. We're just going to go into some buttermilk with the oysters and the shrimp. There we go. Get them in there for a sec, nicely coated, and then you want to start with doing your shrimp. I do the oil about 375 so they cook quickly. The outside gets crispy, but the inside stays nice and tender and juicy. So the shrimp being a little bit thicker, you just want to do those for about a minute and a half frying. And then the oysters are about 30 seconds is my preferred way of doing it.
So it's just buttermilk and
Yeah, and so we just do straight cornmeal. It's salt, pepper, and then a little cornmeal. We used to do a bunch of batters at UPH for the fried green tomatoes and the other fish and all that, and my wife was like, just do cornmeal, do simple, and everyone loves it, it's good.
sometimes simple is best.
Oh yeah,
you know?
for sure. So we'll drop those shrimp in, and then we'll go ahead and bread up our oysters. Just want to lightly coat them and letting them sit in the cornmeal mixture for like a couple, 30 seconds or so. Helps it kind of bind and make the good crust. Once those are going.
They won't take very long, will they?
Oh no, I would say about a minute and a half on the shrimp and then about 30, 45 seconds on the oysters. All right, we'll put those aside. Next, we've got the other components of the dish. We like to use a lot of arugula at the restaurant and mixed baby greens. This is a mixture I got from Barbara at Floribama Farms. She brought me yesterday, and it's a baby kale, arugula, which has got a nice pepperiness to it, and then what's the other thing? Oh, a little watercress in there. So it's got a really nice salad, nice hearty mix. All right, so we'll go ahead and drop our oysters in now. They can all finish cooking together. I prefer to use a fryer, it's a little safer. Just be careful if you got I would always kind of put the oil halfway up on the pan, because when you put stuff in there, the liquid comes out and it's going to bubble up a lot. All right, now that's all breaded. Got our little paper towel over there to drain it on. Our next part is going to be just go ahead and mixing the salad, because you want to serve the oysters and shrimp right out of the fryer.
Okay.
So we've got our little salad mix. You can use regular ranch if you want. We have our house buttermilk ranch, and we do it with just all the really great herbs: mayonnaise, sour cream. Fresh ranch is always better. It's just the flavor's just so good.
I think so too.
We're just going to lightly dress that. All right. Got a plate here. Going to kind of nicely pile it up. Real gentle. I always kind of like to make a little tower of salad. It's not all compressed. Keeps the leaves all crunchy and nice. Got that part.
We got some great
And then, yeah, to
other
top it
ingredients,
off,
huh?
we've got our pickled peaches. These are awesome, especially when they're in season. It's a mixture of, I use a pickling mixture of 1-1-2. So you basically have 1 part vinegar, 1 part sugar, and then 2 parts water. I just bring it to the boil, cool it down, and pour it over the raw peaches.
Oh,
and about 24 to 48 hours later, you've got just amazing flavor and still the nice crunch without kind of making them mushy.
And look at our seafood.
And yeah, those are real quick cook. And like I said, you want to serve them real fast, especially the oysters. They can tend to get a little soggy. Just be careful with that hot oil. It will ruin your day. So then we're just going to take our pickled peaches and kind of layer them around the outside like this. And then we have a little corn relish. That's just raw corn, peppers, shallots, fresh parsley, a little tarragon, also a touch of olive oil, and a little bit of white vinegar. It's funny, we joke that my wife wants to put this stuff on everything. She loves it. It's her favorite ingredient. It's favorite thing to use.
While you finish this up, Blake, I'm going to give everyone a telephone number.
Oh,
if
great.
you would like written copies of today's recipes, you can call Pensacola Energy at 436-5050, or you can visit our website at coastalcooking.com.
So now we topped it with our crispy onions, tossed a little bit of seasoned flour and fried at 325 for about a minute and a half. Really nice and crispy. And then we're just going to alternate between our shrimp and our oysters.
I can see why this is your most popular salad.
Oh, yeah, people love it.
It's beautiful.
So there's our
Oh, I love it.
salad.
With the time we have left, let's talk about your wine dinners.
Yeah, we do 1 or 2 a month from all different themes. We've done Spanish wine dinner. We pair it with Spanish wines. We're doing a German one for Oktoberfest. We're doing a Fernet Branca one coming up. And so it's just a real fun way to do it. My chef de cuisine and sous chef are doing one tonight called Street Food from Around the World. So we're going from Brazil
fun.
to Thailand to India to Japan. Amy and Arce are rock stars. Union wouldn't be open without them. They're doing such a good job. And then our pastry chef Corey Wall came up with an amazing Japanese style dessert. So they're always a lot of fun.
Yes, and I know they have fun creating all these different dishes. And we have to mention, of course, Patrick Bolster, who is your business partner.
Yep.
And comes up with all these creative cocktails.
Yeah, he's amazing at what he does, and the other bartenders do some great things as well. The flavor components and the balance of the cocktails. You're not going to get some sweet, overly sweet cocktail. You're going to get a well-balanced cocktail, and he uses the top boozes from around the country and around the world, and he's definitely very into his craft and very good at it. It's impressive to watch.
And the most popular one is?
The Bramble.
The Bramble has won
the best cocktail last year in Pensacola.
How about that?
So
boy, that says a lot.
We've served quite a few of those. The
Yes.
Paloma is always popular. Have some new cocktails coming up I'm excited about. So.
Great. So much fun. So much to do at Union Public House and to enjoy food-wise, cocktail-wise, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, indoor and outdoor dining. And you're located?
Next to City Hall on Roost Street by the ballpark. Yeah, it's a great location, plenty of parking.
Sure is.
We're open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. till 11 p.m. or midnight around there, depending on the Friday, Saturday night, how busy it is. And kind of change the menu with the seasons, try to do as much farm to table as possible, have local farmers from Louisiana and that kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun, and we just always keeping it fresh.
Do you recommend reservations?
Friday, Saturday for sure, maybe even Thursdays, but
Okay.
Friday, Saturday, you definitely need a reservation.
Okay, and if folks want to find out about your wine dinners, your website?
Yeah, you go to unionpensacola.com, and then we're also on Facebook and Instagram, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, I've had a lot of fun watching you come up with these creative dishes here on Coastal Cooking, and if folks want to come on out and try them, there's these dishes and many, many more.
Oh, yeah.
That you are always coming up with something new.
For
and
sure.
seasonal. I love
Always,
the
yeah, we got to
seasonal.
keep it seasonal.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again.
Thanks a lot.
Blake, this was so much fun.
It was a
You did
ball.
such a great job.
Thanks.
We'll be back again next Sunday for more Coastal Cooking. Join us then.
This has been Coastal Cooking with your host, Carmela Campbell. Coastal Cooking is brought to you by Pensacola Energy, provider of clean, efficient natural gas. Join us each Sunday at 6 p.m. for more Coastal Cooking.